Yeah, so we may not even be able to play the whole song because honestly, I don't even know if we need to give it much time. But first of all, I don't want to ask why Zinzi was listening to this song about Nyonyo, but that's a story for another day. Just basically, and if you didn't get the gist of the song, what he's saying is that Yesu nipe nyonyo, ninyonye, baraka, ninyonye.
First of all, Michael, let me tell you something. I will not let you throw me under the bus like that. You and Adhiambo,
no,
right?
no,
Michael clearly knows very well. We were working yesterday, and we were in the editing suite, and we were working. And one of our video editors, who is fantastic at his job, was like, you guys, have you heard of this song? And I'm like, what song? And he plays it. And then I call Michael, and I'm like, we should have this for Hot Topics. So Michael, you clearly know that on YouTube, I watch Superwoman, not listen to that song. and I'm not the one who, why is Steven's giving me that look?
All right, away from that. Enough of defense. That's fine. Right. My learned friend, you've defended enough. But your take on the song, obviously, I kind of know your thoughts, but let's start with you since...
Yes, I'm like, okay, maybe that guy, like we were saying, maybe his message comes from the heart.
Where?
But why would he call that song, that term?
It comes from his heart, not his head,
the way the song starts, it's so captivating. The production is really good. I was actually thinking this. I was waiting for something serious, you know, something like Mateke type. Then I'm like, wow. Wow, guys are creative nowadays. Has Ezekiel...
But what's your problem with the song? Is it the fact that the language used?
Yeah, because that's what I said. Maybe he has a message and he genuinely wants to pass it, you know? Like, you know, Lord, these other guys have done these other things, but I'm waiting upon you, you know?
So I want
waiting
to,
upon
so I want to
Nyonyo.
no, blasphemy. So I want to suckle.
If you ask me, it's blasphemy because...
This is today not convincing at all.
It's blasphemy.
I feel like
it's blasphemy.
You know, maybe, like, okay, for real, guys, maybe he has a message behind it. It's how maybe he's
getting the message across. Stevens, you okay with the song?
I mean, after helping the industry to where it is until, I mean, I'm 6 years now, and this is what I'm getting. No.
No, that I know.
But what's your issue with the song? Is it the language? Is it the kind of song? Is it the video? What exactly?
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything.
There's
I think the modern day gospel industry is just, I don't know, sorry for lack of a better word, maybe confused.
Very,
yeah,
very confused. And this is what, you know, sorry, I don't almost want to speak in a language that is not understood by everybody. But, you know, I had an interview with Victor Say this week, actually. And yes, a great man, great musician, great arranger. And the one thing he told me about the modern crop or the people who want to be enforce situations musically is that there is no way you can skip either the school of practice, or the school of practicality, or the real school of going to study music. If you can't write lyrics, ask somebody to write it for you. If you can't arrange it, ask somebody to arrange it for you. If you're not a videographer, like that video looks like it was somebody's phone, or something, which went there and took that. And then the guy himself, have you seen what he's wearing? And then it is Nyonyo is thinking about, I want that guy, I don't know.
Put Jesus in it?
Jesus should not be involved in your...
Okay, I guess.
You know, Michael, I like that you're putting us on the spot. What do you think?
Today you keep...
I
have my rebuttal already. For me, I will tell you this. First, I was always taught that you start with the positive, then go to correction. But I'll say, first of all, at least he has written a song. At least he has sung a song. Hang on, let me finish. Don't give me those rolling eyes. At least he has written a song, and he's trying. However...
Yes, E for effort.
E for effort. Yes. And I have scriptural backing to what I have to say. And I would say he's new in the industry, and thank God for the likes of Stevens, who's come up with Pulse Music Video Awards. Because then...
this thing can't even...
No. There's somewhere I'm going with this. Listen, they've come up with the Music Awards because this way you're able to gauge and say, given the standards that we have right now, there is below par, there is average, and there's above. Now, this is somebody who's probably new. Does anybody know him?
I don't know. I think maybe Solo knows me. Solo, he'll tell.
So, here we go. In the book of...
Go ahead, Pastor.
1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11, it says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child.
Yes.
I understood as a child. I thought as a child. So, music industry way speaking, this is a child.
All right,
so
thank
we don't expect
you. Summarized beautifully.
I don't think he should have an excuse at all. But he's made it to national TV.
I think
1 second of fame. I think we're done with that.
Yeah, but in terms of gospel industry, honestly, I think we just need, there's a trajectory that we had, and it was really going well,
Yeah,
but I'm getting worried.
decided.
I'm getting concerned.
And Mike, and that's a story that Paul is already working on. And for a season, we had a very good crop of gospel artists who are just changing the entire entertainment scene. Actually, secular music had gone down and all that.
Yeah.
And it's so strange that this year, things have gone under. And we see now, like, for example, we are saying the likes of Nyash would be the gospel artist of this year. I mean, it's very strange. And I think, again, like we said,
or even Sauti Sol.
Yes.
Exactly. I think gospel artists should go and become real to themselves. And this is not really like preaching to anybody or try to judge somebody, but I think they are losing it in terms of the call.
The call.
End of the
Yeah,
day.
and whether it's ministry. And anyway, we're going to be having a gospel artist on our Friday chat today. And of course, that's one of the questions that we're going to put forward to him and find out, in terms of gospel industry, at what point does ministry end and you just become an artist? Or is it just releasing songs for the sake of releasing? And again, playing on people's emotions, because Kenyans are very religious people.
Yep.
And of course, if you release a nice gospel song, chances are it'll do well. But anyway, that's a debate we're going to have. Let's move on to something else. And this is on a sad note. And there is a gentleman who's known as Zach, which Kenyans basically were very annoyed, because Zach was this Kenyan who went to Ethiopia on business, but was arrested under circumstances that...
If I'm not wrong, from the post that I read, he was a techie.
Yes.
He went to Ethiopia, like you said, to work. He was relocated there by his company that he works for. This was around last year, January 2015. And then he was arrested, I think, only, 5 days after he had arrived or so?
He had arrived, yes.
Yeah, so now the issue that Kenyans have had is that he was jailed, and when... the family members were trying to reach out to both the Kenyan government and the Ethiopian government. They got no word. And when finally he came back home in a coffin.
Yeah.
So that's not very easy to digest at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, the rage from majority of Kenyans is that it seems like the Kenyan authorities didn't do much to, see what was going on, and even just try to find out what is the problem. Yeah, which would be very sad.
So it's just everyone is questioning how we react or how we respond when Kenyans abroad are mistreated, when they die. I remember, just to throw it back, there was a time when very many of our sisters would go to Dubai and get mistreated. You know, in the Arabian
countries.
Yeah, and the issue was that when they go there and they get mistreated, does our government fight for them? Do they also sit at the table and say, what you're doing to our citizens when they go there for a job is just wrong? Because I'm sure if that was an American, the American government would defend.
Yes, that's
the American government would, the Israeli government, any other government that takes citizenship with pride seriously would have responded, even though it's just that one person.
Two issues here, Zinzi. One is, well, I'm talking as a Kenyan who has lived in a foreign land for some time. When you, the moment you step into a foreign land, you have to figure out whether you're there legally or illegally.
You must.
That's very essential. Secondly, you need to work on networking. You need to know who comes from Kenya and lives in that same country. So that
before you go?
No. After you land, you have to get to know your people. You have to form some sort of a social network so that in case anything happens to you, people are able to reach out. Now, if none of that happens, I'm not saying Zach probably was in Ethiopia illegally, but then when you work in a foreign land, that is very important.
Then look at the time. He was there, before he was arrested, he was only given, 5-10 days? How do you settle into a new country and know people within that short period? I mean, what you're saying is very true,
Yes.
But given the duration that when he landed and when he was arrested, it was a very short time period for him to get to know any Kenyan.
No, in fact, you walk in, do your best the following day, get to know your embassy. Your embassy is the only familiar place.
Yeah.
In case of anything, that's your safest ground.
Yes,
It's your country.
And that's why guys are really mad at the embassy, because no word has been said, because silence alone is an answer.
I think, Zinzi, really condolences to the family of Zach and whatever that happened. Nobody deserves something like that. But I will tell you that matters of international relations are not as easy as sometimes we would like them to look like. Perhaps behind the scenes, we may not really know the kind of talks that are probably taking place now or could have taken place. We also are still not clear of under what circumstances was he getting arrested and everything happening. But having said that, I think the that Kenyans are in order to be angry when one of their own, just suffers that kind of thing. But I don't think we want to bash our government sincerely when we really do not know what type of things and the full details that they have done. But yes, I feel where the anger is.
Yeah, and I guess, well, we hope that something, although it's too late now for Zach, but that at least that death should not go wasted, in the sense that if there's any other Kenyan who's suffering abroad for reasons that we don't know, we expect Kenya to step up and, defend her own. So, of course, condolences to the family, very, very sad. And, of course, looking at those two beautiful children who now do not have a father, very, very sad. May he rest in peace. But also, still on a sad note, over the weekend, we had this tragic accident in Naivasha, which obviously, again, blame game continues. Oh, it's the police, or it's the transport. It's the speed bumps. But sad to say, and I guess at the end of the day, really, what we need to do, especially now that we're getting into the festive season, is to take responsibility as drivers. We really need to be careful as we're driving. No drink driving, for starters. Secondly, just to watch our speeds, really.
And even as pedestrians, because that's just also on the drivers. As pedestrians, we also have a duty, and now I've noticed there's so many people in Kenya who ride their bikes.
And they're just there.
And so it's also a responsibility to everyone, not only those people who just own cars. But like you said, we're going towards... we're in the Christmas festival.
Right.
We already are. So it's just a matter of us taking responsibility.
Yeah, sure. But very sad again, of course, all those who lost loved ones. And of course, I do have friends that I lost, but in a different country. And it was due to an accident where the car burnt down and literally it was burnt to ashes. So it becomes even more painful for closure purposes when you don't even have a body that you can, bury. So really a very difficult time for Kenya. But again, we cannot overemphasize as we're getting into the festive season. Let us be careful. Yeah. And again, the other thing, of course, remember the matatu in Rongai, where we had a number of people die. And I think this is now putting Kenyans on the responsibility of also taking action. If you find a driver is overspeeding, you have the authority to actually say, no, I am not going to be carried in a vehicle that's going to, drive badly. Because most of the stories we have after is that, yes, he was overspeeding or he was drunk.
But people kept quiet.
Yeah.
Mike, and just going back to the Rongai issue, and even this one, it remains big pain for even the families, like you're saying. The Rongai issue is, for example, there's a lady who was there who was involved in the accident. Thank God she didn't die. The family takes her to Aga Khan. And you can imagine the agony they are going through the bills right now. As a family, relatives and friends and all that. And somebody walks scot-free, and it's okay, and it's forgotten. I mean, sometimes really. I think we need better laws and systems that would make follow-ups of such things in the coming days. Right. Because now that is somebody probably, your insurance cover may not take care of all those things, yet you're involved in something that somebody was responsible over and you are helpless about.
Right, and of course, again, we have investigations that have begun, but we never seem to get an answer and a reason. And the other thing about the speed bumps, and this is what I was, having a discussion with some friends, and speed bumps in Kenya have become a solution to our overspeeding. And it's purely trying to deal with citizens who do not obey, what do you call them? Laws and regulations. Because I'm sure in that particular area, the reason why they have put the speed bumps is because it's probably a densely populated to try and slow people down. Yeah. But there are speed limits.
That's the other thing. And I remember reading a post that the guy who but he saw the bumps I think a year or two ago.
I think it was in February or something, yes.
Yeah, he posted it, and then now look what has happened, yeah? Right. So I liked what you say, that speed bumps are just not the answer.
They're not.
They're just not the answer. Wherever there's a black spot, speed bumps. It's never the answer.
And the thing is, there are regulations. I mean, look at Sachangwan. We've had so many accidents there. Yeah. They've put bumps, but that still doesn't stop us from getting accidents.
It's just a matter of responsibility and what Stevens has said, a proper system in place.
Yeah. And I think also just Kenyans being responsible. Take up the responsibility. If it's written drive at 80, although some of the speed limits, honestly,
The 51.
the 51 really gets to you.
On
but
a highway,
there you go.
50. Yes.
But you know, the other problem is that also you'll find that our police force, the reason why they arrest really is not cautionary. It is not to try and deal with a problem. It's to catch you out, which is why you'll find policemen hiding in bushes. It's to catch you out and extort, basically. Because you'll find in other countries where you have speed cameras, and they'll even warn you and tell you this area is monitored. And the reason why I find that effective is because it's a deterrent. It gets the job done. If it's a densely populated area and you tell me there are police checks, then I will slow down. So it gets the job done. As opposed to, let me catch you out.
On a clear day.
On a clear day.
Adhiambo seems to be speaking from experience.
But there you go. That's talking about the police force. And moving on now to a different kind of police force that decided to use a rather interesting way of putting themselves literally in another person's shoes and walking a mile. What was that? It was
walk a mile in high heels.
walk a mile in high heels, in her heels. Before you condemn and, you know.
Let me tell you something. Power to those Ugandan men, and even the police officers who joined in it. And the whole aspect was it was a campaign after the 16 days of activism to
gender-based violence.
Yes, to bring attention to gender-based violence towards women and towards girls. And I thought that, you know what, this is amazing. You know, if it was women on the streets, you would expecting it. But men in heels, that is something that is just...
Look at the policeman.
Yeah, they're taking part in it.
Well, for me, that actually looked quite hilarious.
That guy has been secretly rocking heels.
One of them.
No, it looked hilarious for them to wearing heels. But anyway, does that really give the man an idea of what the woman goes through simply because they're in heels? I mean, I could wear your heels right now. I mean,
Could you? Could you?
Yeah, I can.
Could you?
It's just that they wouldn't fit me. I would. It's just that they wouldn't fit me. What size are they? What size are your heels?
39.
39. That's size what?
6.
6.
Yeah.
Too small.
You know our
Zinzi, what size are yours? Those are probably size 3.
I'm a size 4. I'm a size 4.
No, if by the way, if your heels would fit, I'd wear them any time.
We will look for other heels.
Yeah? Stevens, do you want to try her heels?
Walking the heels.
I'm just thinking that the heels challenge, this is
The heels
something
challenge
else.
has now become a challenge.
But I'm just saying, for the first time I saw creative madness coming out of Uganda. We have a lot of that in Kenya. I mean, we are innovators in our own way. I mean, I'm using my signs.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking what Ugandan and Kenyan men would have done. Would have gone for the dress, maybe for the miniskirt.
And that's still
and
okay.
more heels
that's
and
still
stuff.
okay. Because you're bringing attention to gender-based violence. And you being and what you asked is whether it's having an impact.
Impact, yes, it's having an impact.
It's even showing that we, or not we, but men are, but men are also saying, hey, to those men or to those women who are violent when it comes to relationships, we see you and we do not stand with you. You know?
But still, I'm just thinking, women have been wearing men's clothes all this long. We're just trying heels now.
It's fine.
Mike?
Now we're going into...
When you've realized. No, but that guy over there, he rocks heels in private.
Did you guys see their faces?
What? They had mascara?
No, there was too much pain. Yeah, as in it was too painful to
walk.
But
Okay.
that's they had a
For me,
point to
the issue would be, first of all, I always wonder why you have, why anyone has to wear heels painfully.
Have you seen how you look like when those heels are worn, right?
No, I agree.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah, but, well, I guess it's fashion and pain go together, which is fine. But I really, the thing is, it was gender-based violence and bringing attention to it, and it definitely got attention. Here we are talking about it, and it happened in Uganda. So, Kenyan police, the challenge is on you, but no dresses.
But not only police. I don't know what you say.
Kenyan
men.
And I feel like you should be the first one, Michael.
Men should be the ones to wear the heels.
Give me heels that can fit me, and I will try it.
Oh,
10.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, how many women can wear? Well, rather,
We'll find you.
Show me heels that can make me comfortable.
Sorry?
If they are comfortable, sawa. Lakini zangu zitatengenezwa ng'ambo. Sijui.
Stevens, heels are not meant to be heels and comfortable cannot sit in the same
You might have to call
word.
the Chinese again to fix my heels.
And you see, that's my point, Queen.
Heels and
heels and comfort do not go. So why wear heels?
Together. But not all heels are not comfortable. Tafadhali at this, make it clear.
Yes, that some of us rock it and it's absolutely comfortable. Yes, we can even run in it.
Okay, I don't know about running. No, not all of us are Beyonce who can dance in them for like 2 hours, but we can, you know, sustain it for like an hour.
So long as you're comfortable, I certainly agree that they are very fashionable, but I will not be caught wearing heels. Okay. Well, because they cannot fit me. But there you go. But anyway, point taken. And gender-based violence. And I'm just thinking, now that men are being challenged to wear heels to bring attention to gender-based violence, how do you propose we should take this same campaign to Nyeri, for example?
I think, Mike, first of all,
Nyeri, where we have men who are being... Yeah, the other way around.
For me...
since women already wear trousers, I mean...
For me, what I liked about the gesture in Uganda is that at least men did something. That was just the first step, if you ask me. But there are thousands of women who are actually abused and lose their lives from gender-based violence. And if our Kenyan men could actually borrow a leaf from that, it would be awesome. But then again, talking about Nyeri, where men are...
And it's not just Nyeri, it's
and several other...
And several other regions where men are
the ones in trouble.
Are on the receiving end.
So what should we do?
How
would we make the women behave?
So you see, it's kind of one-sided.
It's not one-sided.
It is one-sided.
It's not
because
one-sided.
men are also facing
First of all, we
violence.
would wish that the men speak up, because more often than not they don't.
Because they run away.
Yes.
They're so scared.
Because they believe there's a way the society is going to look at them.
They're weak, and they're not weak.
Of course,
in
they're
the
not
words
weak.
of Chimamanda Adichie, she said that, you know, masculinity is a small cage that we've put boys in that constrains them. So you're taught that you, as a man, you can't have emotions at a young age.
Are you saying Mike should come out and say I'm being pooped?
Yes.
That was bad.
There's nothing wrong with that. Michael, if you're beating your first
Just for the records,
Mike should come out. Mike?
Just for the records, I am not being pooped.
Mike, are you coming out?
Even if you are getting beaten, which you're not getting beaten, I would love for you and all the other people to come out and speak about it. Don't hide.
No, but by the way, it is a serious debate, and honestly speaking, it's not easy because of the way we are cultured. However...
And hence why I said that line by Chimamanda. Because masculinity teaches boys that you cannot cry.
Big men don't cry.
Be men, and then men grow up, or some men grow up not knowing emotional intelligence, how to
deal with your emotions and how to express them.
Hence why in that situation men are so confined, because if you come out and say my wife is beating me, I'm less of a man, which you're not less of a man. And you need to come out and talk about it.
But why is your wife beating you?
Even though you're giving me that look.
And you see, it's the likes of Adhiambo who will make them not come out, because now there seems to be a reason why he is being beaten, according to Adhiambo.
No, there's not.
Gender-based violence.
I'm just wondering how you sit somewhere, both ways, even for me. Why would I be seated and you're beating me? Why? I mean, no, why?
Well, it's a whole emotional thing. But
there is only one place where we need to be beating each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
not necessarily,
okay, I think that is a story for
the golf field.
Probably a later time in the day.
Yeah.
Let's wind up with the Pulse and the Nairobian. And I know Zinzi wanted to tell us about Kanye West and Donald Trump meeting, but very briefly, what was that all about?
Well, this is the first time we're seeing Kanye West after that run that he did in his, and he's coming up with he came out with that new hairdo, kind of like the same colors of Diambo's hair.
I know this is what's popping.
Oh, okay. So we do not know the details that were being discussed between Trump and Kanye West in terms of politics. And this is a very suspicious, because this is the time that Trump is coming up with his team. When journalists asked him what happened, he said no comment. But however, this is a man who made his presidential bid for 2020 during the VMAs. He said that he will work with elect President Donald Trump. It's very amazing to see how pop culture Adhiambo and politics can come together. It will be interesting to see what these two are up to.
I love it. And I know that, it's interesting, and you should have seen the hug, because I watched it on CNN.
The video
it was like very, like Trump just did the whole man, what are you doing? And then I could just see a reality spin-off on it, because you saw Kris Jenner's boyfriend was just standing left there, actually. Yes, who's also the manager. And Kanye seemed so okay with everything, and Trump as well. I think, wow.
But I hear Kim, the wife, is not so happy about it, given the fact that they were supporting Hillary Clinton.
I think where politics is involved, everybody is allowed to be able to choose which side they vote for.
And just to say, to add on to top of that, Kanye West did make it clear during that his concert, he said that he did not go out and vote, but if he was to vote, he would have voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah,
all right.
There you go. So. And well, we don't know whether that's just a convenient statement since he was with the president. And by the way, he had also mentioned that at some point he would like to go for president. So he's getting tips. He's getting tips.
I tell you.
And that is America. You never know. Kanye West could be president.
If Brexit could happen, if Donald Trump could be president, I won't be shocked if 2020 comes and Kanye is now president.
Plus another Kardashian.
That will be
Stevens, let's do the pulse. Although I know we've touched on some of the topics on the pulse. Very quickly, before we exit, the pulse.
It's all possible, Mike. So Kanye, yes, and Pulse, yes. 13 years later, we are still happening. What we have today is, what we're having today is a souvenir issue. And as you discover, the cover girl is not there today. What we have today is a cover of our celebrities and everybody who makes us happen, what the industry is all about. Guys, this is for you to grab because today's issue is not something I can even break down from the stories inside there.
I love how you
put
your photo right there.
At the end.
Coming soon.
Of course, signature. He had to make sure that
But then my designer, again, is good enough. It's a great team that works around the Pulse magazine and all that. It's been 13 years of doing this. And guys, today is just a souvenir issue that features exactly what we've been doing the last 13 years and also giving way forward to what the industry looks like in the coming days. And whoever can make their way to the office, Mike, and even after this, I believe there's a big cake up there for us to celebrate this great time.
Good news. So there you go. That's a Pulse. 13 years. They are teenage. So, of course, it's a series that it's a paper that you cannot miss. And, do get yourself a copy. Of course, we've also got the Pulse Music Video Awards right in there and how it went down. So let's move on to the Nairobian.
Okay, on to the Nairobian. Well, the biggest story, was we are just trying to clear the air about Bishop and his private jet. And whether you're a member of JCC or an angered Kenyan or someone who is supporting Bishop, I think you deserve to grab a copy of the Nairobian to get the details of
this whole story.
I think it is only fair that you get what Bishop has to say about this whole fiasco. And then, also interesting is how we've decided to look at the president's office, not just office, but his desk. And we're trying to look at what could be wrong or right about the office, and we have done a bit of comparison with Uganda. Museveni has a very interesting office, by the way, Rwanda and South Africa and all. And then,
All right, I think that means it's time up. Thank you guys for, going through the hot topics. You guys always make my day. Next Friday, let me not even let the cat out of the bag. Next Friday is going to be the last one before Christmas. Yes. So you must make sure that you're here with us. But now we need to take a break and we'll be right back. Right here on KTN News, we have some news updates later on. We've also got our Friday chat and we have a gospel artist lined up for you. On KTN Home, it's Feel Good Friday. Today there's Amos and Josh and also Victoria Kimani. So there's definitely a lot that you need to catch up on, and that's on KTN Home. But those of us on KTN News, we've got some news updates coming up right here. Then later on, we've got our Friday chat. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.